everybody, this is Elena. This is a very impromptu video. My little sister just started doing makeup for the first time, and so I'm making a very simple makeup tutorial video for her because she's all the way over in my hometown, and I tried to teach her makeup basics, but we just ended up not having the time for it. So I figured I'll just do like a little video that she can just keep looking back on. So yeah, that's what this is going to be. It's very simple. I'm very cold and I'm very tired, so if it shows, I'm very sorry. I'm getting pictures taken today for my internship. I recently got an internship reporting for the Tokyo 2020 Olympics, and so I need to look pretty for my headshot, and so I'm wearing my favorite sweater and I showered, so my hair looks fairly decent today. Other than that, I need to put makeup on, and so to get started, I'm going to get my hair out of my face, and so you can see I have a big ass forehead. I've actually not done makeup in this house yet. I just moved into a new apartment. It's a long story as to why, but basically my old roommates are very not good people to me, and so I ended up having to leave because it was bad on my mental health. So in the meantime, I'm in now this new apartment until I go to grad school, and it's a nice apartment. I'll do a tour once I have all my furniture. I have laid out all of my makeup on my counter here, well, not all of it, like the ones I'll be using. I did bring this up because I wanted to say this. I do have fake lashes. I'm not going to use them, and no, Amelia, I'm not going to teach you how to use them because I still don't know what I'm doing with these. So once I know what I'm doing with these, then I can teach you. But in the meantime, find a friend that's better than me. And so the first thing I do is I actually get my mascara and I put it into my bra. I try to warm it up so that way it's easier to apply, it's easier to put on. I'm using a Maybelline mascara. I know some people, like my sister, she would get like a hand-me-down mascara. It was mascara that I never used because you are not supposed to share mascara. However, a little trick, or not trick, a rule is that you should change your mascara every 6 weeks or so, I think, or at the very most like a couple months, every few months or so, because it's gonna be on your eyes. And as very famously said in one of my theater rehearsals, that's how Ebola spreads. And so you don't want Ebola, or it's coronavirus now. That's what you don't want. You don't want any of that. And so I'm getting that warmed up, and I'm using a Maybelline mascara, which is really cheap and really good. I could put like 4 layers on it and my eyelashes still suck because that's just how my lashes are. My sister has fantastic lashes. She has one coat and it's flawless and beautiful for days. My boyfriend also has fantastic lashes. I did have a coat and they were going out and about, and I wanted to divorce him. So some people are just God's favorite, and I'm not one of them. So to start off, I'm going to be putting on some primer. Just a little bit. You don't need a lot of primer, just enough to get it on your face to where it primes your face. What primer does is it's just that. It's when you how would I compare this? My sister, she does art. So Amelia, you know how when you do art, you typically layer your canvas with 1 layer of paint, so that way it spreads a little easier. Typically you do a white, so that way it blends out easy. That's at least what Bob Ross talks about. And so this is kind of like that, to where it sets up a good setting, foundation on your face, so that way everything applies easier and it sticks on there easier and it stays longer. So that's what primer does. And I'm also applying an eye primer. This is hard candy. I got it for $3 at a drugstore. My primer is a Sephora primer that I got for $6, I think. It's very easy. I'm running really low on my eyeshadow primer, so I have to apply it like this, so that way I can get it. Yeah, there we go. I am running very low, and I just spread that around. I have a mirror behind me that I'm looking at. And I go underneath the eye as well because when I do eyeshadow, I go under. I use my fingers a lot with my makeup, and my sister's going to see that. And one of the important things for beginners is that there's no right way or wrong way to do, well, there's a lot of wrong ways, but like there's no correct way of applying your makeup. It's whatever is most comfortable with you, whatever products you're using. I use my fingers for a lot of things because it goes on easier, and certain products are just so lightweight that it's, you know, it goes on very, very simply. I have 2 makeup sponges that desperately need cleaning. I don't clean my stuff often. It's terrible. I'm calling myself out. I don't clean my shit often. I need to. And I just kind of go and I dab it in so that way it's like an even layer out. I didn't put anything on this. It's just I'm going over top of what my finger did and just kind of pressing it in a bit further. And I'm pulling it out of my lashes. Ugh. Okay. And you can still see some residue. There we go. And this next step for me is eyebrows. A lot of girls actually do their face first and then their eyes, but I always tell my sister and other people doing makeup for the first time to do your eyes first and then the rest of your face, because like if you're like me and you love to work with eyeshadow, your eyeshadow may like fall off and like, get all over your face, and you don't want your like nicely foundation and contoured faces suddenly have eyeshadow all over it. And so it's easier to just do your eyes and then cover it up. And before doing my eyes, I do my brows. And so I have naturally like thick brows, and so I'm very blessed here. I'm just kind of more focusing on this outer part here where I give it an edge, kind of like that. And I just kind of fill in certain spots that need it. And as you can see, it's kind of shaped, and what I do now is I just use my finger and I guide it out. My lighting in here is terrible. I'm not doing a professional setup. This is literally on my iPhone. I'm doing my best. Because I was thinking, I'm gonna put makeup on. It's gonna be the first time in a little bit. And I just gave my sister a ton of makeup this past weekend. And the reason why I use my fingers is because it actually kind of erases it a bit easier. See? That mistake is gone. I wish it was that easy in my life. Well, then again, certain things are. Nothing's permanent. Not even my damn eyebrows. So, yeah, you're always gonna have that one problematic eyebrow, and for me it's this one. Oh my god. I may have to use concealer. That's fine. I got a basic set going. Some people can't even like tell a difference, but I can see a difference. It's just subtle. It's a subtle difference. I'm doing my best. I have decided I am going to in fact use some concealer just to kind of clean things up on this brow here. And so I'm using, this is Maybelline? Yes, this is Maybelline. Also like really cheap and really nice. It's a concealer called Better Skin Superstay. Yeah. And Amelia, the thing is with concealer, you always want it to be a couple shades or like at least one shade lighter than your actual like skin and foundation, because it's supposed to be lighter. And what I do with my my concealer for this is that I just kind of go under. I'm gonna go peek over here so I can see in the mirror. Just so that way it's like kind of cleaned up, and I just blend it. See, now it's a bit sharper. And I do the same thing up top. And I kind of sometimes bring it down into my eyelids as like an extra base. If you don't have eye primer, I would recommend using concealer. Amelia, I know your situation, you don't have concealer or any kind of primer, so I would suggest using like a little bit of your foundation, and then there's also that Vaseline trick I told you. Very, very little Vaseline, since that stuff spreads very easily. Amelia's turning 16 this July. And that's around the same time when I started doing makeup, and my parents made fun of me all the time. But I didn't really have someone to teach me how to use makeup. I was the first one in the family to just kind of start doing it. My mom, she would wear like eyeliner and that was it. Even then it was very subtle. I couldn't even tell when she was wearing it half the time. And so I had to just kind of teach myself. And so I'm trying to provide that sort of mentoring to my sister. Hopefully she picks up something. And the brush that I'm using, I did get from Bare Minerals. It's a concealer brush. Because when I first started using makeup, I was Bare Minerals everything. Because my grandmother took me there, and that's where I just, got everything. It's expensive. I understand that not everybody can afford that. Looking back at it, I'm like, Jesus Christ, I could have gotten those brushes and stuff at the dollar store for like $1. But, if I still have these brushes and they still work, they still work. But try and find a brush that's kind of like this shape where it is like just sort of like flat and pointed out like that, so that way you can just kind of dip in there real easy. And so as eyeshadow goes, I only have 4 brushes for eyeshadow. A lot of people have all kinds of different brushes. I only use 4. And they're the absolute basics. This is a corner brush from Sephora. It's called a bullet crease brush. Because I couldn't find this kind of brush anywhere else really. But I'm sure there's different ones. If you find it, let me know. I have this tiny little brush here. This is actually, I think, a paintbrush. It's just really tiny, and so I'm just using it for like the tiniest of things down here. Like sometimes I use eyeshadow as eyeliner, and so I just kind of use that. This is a packing brush. It's a basic packing brush I got from Sephora. I was kind of a spoiled child when it came to makeup, since I was the only one that was interested at the time, and so my grandmother would spoil me quite frequently with nice makeup stuff. And this is a blending brush from Bare Minerals. This is a great brush, actually. Very soft, very good. My sister got a bunch of nice brushes from TJ Maxx for like $10, and so I was like, dang, okay. But these are the ones that I use most often anyway. And even then, I typically just use the packing and the blending brush the most. And the palette that I'm using is the Too Faced Sweet Peach brush. The palette, it smells like peaches. It's very nice. I love this palette because it's like got a lot of pinks and neutrals. And I'm wearing stuff with pinks, so I was just kind of wanting to bring out the pink a little bit today. With eyeshadow, there's not really too much I can teach you because my tastes have changed so much over time. But I do want to recommend something when you are doing your eyeshadow, and if you want things to be a bit easier, pick like one of the lightest shades. I'm using this one here called White Peach, and just put it all over, like over the entire lid. It helps your shadow blend a little bit easier, and it does kind of lighten your eyes up a bit and gets rid of like any dark circles and hollowing that you may have in or around your eye. I am very tired all the time, especially considering the fact I did just move and I am a senior in college, so there's a lot going on for me to be tired, but I'm very tired and I'm trying to cover up all of the darkness here. And so, as you can see, my face does look a lot brighter, and it is going to be a lot easier to blend things out. I'm not going to go crazy with any looks today because I'm not how I used to be when I applied makeup. I used to just be like really bold and really big. I know my sister's really into that currently, and I'm like, okay, yeah, you're just like me. But that's not me, so I'm gonna do something very simple. I'm gonna go in with this basic pink and cover it over my eye, and then have my corners blended with one of these dark brown shades over here. So I'm gonna go in with Bellini, I think it's called, and I'm just gonna cover the whole lid with that. Just the lid, to where it's just a basic pink on my lid, and then I'm going to blend it out later. I noticed something when it comes to makeup, at least as I got older, less is more, at least for me. I know some girls that just look really good with like a lot of makeup, and like that's them. They want to have fun, go crazy, go stupid. I'm happy for you, I support you. I'm just doing a simple makeup tutorial. Like, it's simple, and that's one thing that you need to remember, Amelia and anybody else like her that's new to makeup. Just have fun. It's just having fun. I'm just teaching the absolute basics and my routine so that way you see what I do. I'm probably gonna go in with these two shades. I'm gonna like mix them. You can mix shades. That's a fun thing you can know. I didn't know that. I'm gonna like tap here to like get rid of like any excess. And I'm gonna start on the outer corner and just kind of like bring it in. This here, when you like have your eyes just as is, when you're whatever folds over, that is called your crease. And so this here, this little inner part is called the crease. And so I'm going to be bringing this shadow into my crease to kind of add a bit more depth and a bit more like shadow to it. And I'm having a bit of color on the outside here to where it adds more dimension. You see the difference? It's a very simple look, but it's very effective. And I'm gonna go underneath just a little bit. I'm not gonna go around the whole way, just to about right here or so. Great, and I'm gonna repeat that for this side. Because I know when you're watching a lot of makeup videos, they're going to be saying terms that you have never heard before. And it's very intimidating and you got to learn all that stuff. But don't worry, a lot of it's pretty self-explanatory. One thing you're going to be hearing a lot is T-zone. That is, you do a T on your face, and that's what that is. That's your T-zone. I don't really use my T-zone much anymore because I don't do contour anymore. I'm gonna use this corner brush and go again with the pink and just get underneath the rest of my eye here. Because I like, oh God, I got some in my eye. Because I like looks that kind of go around in a big circle, if that makes sense. That's me personally. As I said, there's no one correct way of doing makeup. It's whatever you want to do. And so there's my look. Very simple, very basic. And I'm gonna just grab my eyelashes and pull out the eyeshadow. All right. I'm not doing eyeliner because that's like an hour, but I'm really good at eyeliner. I use this liquid eyeliner from e.l.f. It's like $2 and it works great for me. I also have other eyeliners. I have this one specifically for my waterline, and what a waterline is down here, this little line right here where like your tears come from, that's your waterline. And then there's like up here, this upper line. I also use that. I have a waterproof one. I have just a basic pencil liner, and then I have a light one. This one is like not a dark liner, it's a light liner specifically for like the inner corner of my waterline. Speaking of my waterline, I'm actually going to do the outer corners here. As you're going to see, I get right on that, just a little bit, to just kind of bring my eyes in a bit and kind of make the shadows a little bit more prominent. And so it'll make the highlight and the shadows a bit more noticeable, and it's very nice to look at. So now I'm gonna do mascara. It's a bit warm because I had it in my shirt, and it's going to glide on much easier. Mascara is a very tedious thing for me because my lashes hate my guts. Oh, I gotta replace this. Yep, it's starting to get clunky. One way to tell if your mascara is going bad before your due date is if it's starting to like get really clunky and it's not like a smooth glide. Like if it feels like you're just applying clay onto your lashes, that's when you know it needs to be replaced. You're gonna see this happen quite frequently. I don't know if you have one, but what you do with it is that you get right here and you press your lashes in it and you squeeze and kind of let it go, squeeze. So what that does is it curls your lashes up a bit. But Amelia, I can tell you right now that you don't need one of these because your lashes are fantastic. I need them because my lashes are garbage. They're terrible and I hate them. Alright, I'm going to move on to my face now, and I'm going to start with this because I do have some red spots. And so what this is, it's a green color corrector. And so Amelia, you're also an art, you should know this. Red and green cancel each other out, and so when you put concealer on over that, it kind of helps cover it a bit more. This one is from NYX, which is a drugstore brand. Gets the job done. I just do a little bit because if you do too much, you can see the green through your concealer. I'm going onto my neck too because my pictures are a headshot and I want my whole face to look nice. A lot of girls will be like, don't apply it directly to your face because bacteria, and they're probably right, but I don't really care. I'm gonna like blend it a bit. So it's a bit more like smushed in. Okay. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on foundation, and the foundation I'm using is number 7. I got this at Target because it's the only foundation that I found with a yellow undertone that doesn't cost an arm and a leg. And I do in fact have a yellow undertone. It's noticeable enough to where like if I were to put on like a regular white girl foundation, I don't look quite right. Alright, and so as you can see I did just a little bit. I think I did a bit too much, but I use my fingers to like blend it out like this because it is such a light foundation. It's super lightweight. I breathed it in. And it's not full coverage by any means. It is a basic foundation. It's a base. And it's really nice actually. I really like it. I'm using my other one and I'm just kind of patting it out to smooth it. And a way to figure out your undertone is to just kind of just look at the inside of your forearm, and you'll see like what color your veins are. Most importantly, look around, like not just at the color of your veins, but look like right next to your veins, because there's a lot of discoloring around there, I've noticed, at least for me anyway. For me, I saw a lot of yellow. And so now I'm also going to be applying concealer, and I'm going to be applying concealer onto those red spots that I have to like cover it up. What concealer does is it's like basically a heavier foundation that covers your flaws better than I can. Like I'm getting underneath here because I have a lot of redness there typically. Same with the bridge of my nose. This is an optional step. A lot of girls will put not foundation. Why do I keep saying foundation? Because it's cakey. We'll put concealer right here. I put it there because I have some hella bags under my eyes, and so this is helpful in covering that. Make sure when you're patting it underneath here, you look up so that way you can get underneath into the bags of your eyes very well. And as you can see, my face is like covered very well. And there's that. And a lot of girls do contour. I have contour palettes and I will briefly explain it to you. This is a cream contour palette. You have cream and powder. Powder, you just use a brush, you know. Cream, you typically need special brushes. I have brushes like these that, you know, can get into them real easy. And I would also recommend having like an elixir or something like drop onto to make it wet and easier to spread. And so basically what contouring does is it helps give you like a defined face. So these dark colors down here, you would use on like this part of your face and kind of like around the top and a little bit on your jawline to just kind of like bring those in to kind of like sharpen it. And then these lighter colors up here would be used like what I just did with my concealer in your T-zone, which will make these areas a bit brighter and make your shadow stand out a bit more than you just blend it all. And I don't do contour anymore. It's so tedious. It is so tedious. So what I end up doing instead of contouring, I end up just, where is it? We'll be right back after these messages. Something I forgot to mention. Baking. This is something I used to do. I don't do it anymore. What it is, Amelia, I'm going to just kind of briefly explain it. In here you have, oh god, this is a very expensive bake. In here you have some white powder that's unfortunately not cocaine. And what you do is you take one of these sponges and you would like dip it in here and you would put it on your face like this. I'm not doing a whole bunch, I'm just doing a little bit just to show. And you're supposed to like cake a bunch on. And after you do your contour, you're supposed to cake it below the contour as well. And you just leave it there while you do something else. Some girls do their eyebrows, some girls do all kinds of things, or some people just kind of like time it and wait. And then they wipe it off with a brush. And it's supposed to lighten up your skin, but I didn't need it, so it doesn't work for me. So I stopped doing it. So what I've started doing as a contour is I just got a bronzer. And this is my bronzer brush. I have a basic bronzer from Tarte, and this brush I think I got from Walmart. And I just kind of swirl it a bit, and just a little bit. I don't do a lot. I do just a little bit to kind of show that I have a face, and I do just a little bit up the top, and I go like into my hairline so that way it kind of blends out a little bit easier instead of it being like a bit of light and then my bronzer. Some girls contour their nose just a little bit. I don't really because I blush it. I'm gonna do my jawline real quick because I'm fat and I need a jaw. Ta-da! It's super brief, it's super basic. Yeah. What I really love to do, what I've started doing a bit more is a lot of blush. This is blush. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. No, this is blush. And my blush brush is this basic blush brush from e.l.f. This is a more expensive blush that I just kind of splurged on from Bare Minerals. Because I wanted a darker blush, and a lot of girls sometimes do this, a lot of girls sometimes don't, but I tend to layer on my blush pretty heavy because I like the rosy cheek look, but that's me personally. You don't have to, so I'm going to do just a little bit to show you what you're doing. The apples of your cheeks, when you smile, these circles here that go out, those are the apples. And so I just do the apple and I go out to where it blends out a bit more. Don't be afraid to swirl. Don't be afraid to swirl it. Blend that girl out. What I end up doing that a lot of girls don't do is I put on my nose. I go over, a lot of people were just like, why do you cover your redness and then put it back on? Well, I have more control over my blush this way, whereas before I didn't. And this looks more like a cutesy, like I'm out in the cold sort of look. And I tend to do this a lot in like the spring, fall, winter. Summer, I don't really do a lot of blush heavy. I just do a lot of basics for summer. And so this is as far as I'm going today, since I do have pictures that are supposed to be like professional. So I gotta be all serious business. And so what I'm doing now is I'm taking my beauty blender again. I'm just going over top of that. I didn't apply any foundation or concealer or anything on it. I'm just literally going back over it with the leftovers that it has, just to kind of press it into my face, if that makes sense, to where it looks like it's coming from beneath my skin instead of it being like something I put on top of my skin. This step you see a lot of girls just go crazy about. This is highlighter. This is a highlighter from Tarte, and this is a highlighting brush. Your highlighting brush can be all kinds of things. Some girls use their finger. I've used my finger before. What I'm going to do is a little trick. I'm going to use my corner eyeshadow brush, and I'm actually going to go into this inner corner. This right here is called your inner corner, where your tear duct is. I'm just gonna kind of blend that out so where that like pops a bit. And I'm going to go just beneath my brow bone right here to where that kind of pops. And I'm going to put just a little bit on just above where I put my my blush, where my cheekbone is. I'm going to follow that. And I'm going to go above right here, above my brow, and just follow that down. And I'm going to use my finger for this part so that way it's more controlled. I'm going to go right here. This is called your Cupid's bow. I'm going on my Cupid's bow, and I'm going on the tip of my nose, and then I'm going to go right up top here on the topmost bridge of my nose. And then I'm just gonna do a quick drag through to where it's just a little bit, but the emphasis is on the tip and the top bridge. Okay, and I'm done with this step, and I'm actually done with my makeup. A lot of girls do a lot of other things, but this is where I'm done. And so I'm going to use a setting spray. This is a very expensive setting spray, but this is a really good setting spray. I swear by it. It's called All Nighter by Urban Decay. Wet n Wild's another decent one if you wanted a cheaper brand, but I typically just splurge on a good setting spray because I'm out and about all day and I want something that will last. I'm just going to like do that real quick. A little trick to make your highlighter stand out a little bit more is once this dries a bit, go over your highlighter one more time with just a light layer, and it's going to pop out much more. I'm just going to do a bit like right here. And that's all done. And then lastly, there's lips. What am I gonna do with lips? I've decided for my lips to get into my purse, and I'm going to use, where is it? One of my favorite lipstick shades. It is a dark brown. I noticed it's a shade that tends to look really good on me, and so what I just did, there was like some stuff built up, and I wiped it off. Okay, so people put on their lipstick. It's just, you put on your lipstick. I don't know what else to talk about. And I noticed a bit came off, like off my lips, and so I'm going to take my finger here and drag that out. I have a very nice natural lip shape, so I just kind of use that to my advantage. Like my bottom lip here, if I pinch up like that, it matches my top lip perfectly. I'm aware that not many girls have lips like mine. There we go. I had a bit much up top here. So some girls will draw over their lips and fill that in. I don't need to do that, and I'm very lucky to say that. And so I don't overdraw. That's what the term is overdrawing, where you draw over top and then do that. But I don't do that. I just follow the natural shape of my lips. I typically like to have a contrast between my lips and eyes with like either dark eyes and light lips or dark lips and light eyes. And so my personal favorite is dark lips and light eyes because it gives attention to you speaking. And it's very difficult to take stuff off your eyes at the end of the day. That's a big thing that I started doing a lot now is thinking, okay, how busy am I going to be? How tired am I when I get home? And will I have the energy to take all this makeup off? Because I never, and you should never sleep with your makeup on. Always take your makeup off at the end of the day. If you do a skincare routine, do your skincare routine. I have a routine, but I never follow it because... But seriously, take your makeup off at the end of the day. What I use is literally any makeup wipe. Like I found this for $3. It's just whatever I can get my hands on as a makeup wipe because that's not what I'm using. I have a makeup melter. So what this is this is a balm, and so when you take it off, there's like a balm thing here. I'm gonna demonstrate. I'm gonna just do something on my arm just to show you real quick. Okay, so I did a variety of things on my arm here. This is eyeshadow, this is lipstick, this is eyeliner, this is concealer. And so this balm here, I got it for $30, but I ended up finding a spray at Ulta for like $6 that does the same thing, so you might want to look into that. And I just take a little bit. You don't need a lot. I just kind of take a little bit. There was some makeup on my finger, that's why it's dark. And it ends up being like this balm, this like messy balmy stuff. And I just put it on and swirl it. It looks terrible, I know. And just kind of like press it in, swirl it in, all this fun stuff. Okay. And then you take a wipe and watch. Gone. So anyways, this is my completed look, and I really hope it helped you out, and I hope you learned something, and I wish you well with your makeup endeavors. I'll see you around. Bye!